wonderful, into the wonderful, into the wonderful, into the wonderful.
Hello and welcome to another episode. Today I'm going to be plugging in another machine, but don't worry, it's not going to be another one of those unboxing ones. Been through enough of those so far. It's something a little different. Behold, the power tower. So what does a tower give us over the standard desktop case? Well, drive bays for a start. There we've got a CD-ROM drive. There we've got the DFO floppy drive. There's a zip drive as well. Handy space for a Power by Amiga sticker. And some LED lights that are currently off. Then around the back we have a nice PC-80 power supply. Nice and beefy. We've got all the A1200 ports on the left. Some audio out. And finally, Voodoo 3 output on the PCI bus board. And then down here we've got a port for an AT keyboard. Now this Amiga hasn't been plugged in for the past 10 years, so I don't really know what's going to happen here. Wish me luck. We have power. That is a good start. Now the Amiga seems to be running through a bit of a reboot step here. I've got the VGA cable for the monitor plugged into the Voodoo 3 graphics card, so we won't actually see any video output from the Amiga chipset at all. We'll only see a screen if it makes it to Workbench. So keep your fingers crossed. Okay, I think we've moved out of the reboot loop. Nope, there's another one. There are various pieces of software and hardware on this machine which require certain patches to be loaded in before the machine actually boots, and so it can get into a bit of a reboot loop as it goes through each one in turn. So, oh, here we go. I should really play some music at this point, some joyful music that I've actually got a Workbench screen. And there's directory Opus 5 loading. I never expected to see this. This is a machine that's been in 2 lofts since, I assume, since about 2009. So, you know, up in the loft, goes between hot and cold, hasn't been plugged in. This is amazing to see. I never expected this. And there we have it. We've booted up to Workbench. Wow. Okay, let's get this camera a bit close to the screen so you can see what's going on. So welcome to my Workbench. This was set up over many years. The Amiga 1200 in this machine was basically the Amiga that I got in the early 90s, and then it's been upgraded again and again and again. At one point this had the Blizzard 1230 in it, that was then replaced with the Blizzard Power PC, and gradually more and more things got added to it. So it's a real hodgepodge of a system. And move this out of the way. You can see I've got quite a few devices, quite a few partitions here. You'll have to bear with me because I haven't seen this in over a decade, and I'm going to have to refresh myself a bit, but I'm just happy that I can see this screen in the first place. As you can see, the icons are a bit different. These are glow icons. they're part of Workbench 3.9, Amiga 3.9, which I had installed on here, but then I also installed Directory Opus Magellan, or Magellan, I'm not really sure how it's pronounced. So you can use that as a filing system. This basically allows multitasking between windows, so I can do things while other things are happening. With standard Workbench, you can only open one window at a time, but this allows me to do more. It also gives handy little things like you can see the volume gauge at the side there. That was originally in Workbench 1.3, but it was removed in later iterations, so it's good to have that back. You can also minimise windows to icons. You can lock it so I can't make any changes. You can create these cool button toolbars around the outsides, whether with text like in the top right up here, or with icons like in the bottom right and left. So they allow you quick access to various things, various applications of your choice. I think this is my internet one, but the last time I had this Amiga connected, it was over dial-up, so I don't currently have a means of connecting this one to the internet. This toolbar gives me various kind of system applications. If I click on that, what does that give me? No idea. Believe it or not, I chose these icons so that they'd be obvious as to what they do. So the fact that these things aren't loading when I'm clicking on them. Oh, bit of disk activity on that one. Let's see. Scout! Fantastic. Scouts are a way to basically see what's going on in your system. So I can click on devices and it'll show all the different devices that are loaded for it. All the different fonts that are currently loaded. That's not all the fonts that are available to the system, it's the ones that are actually loaded into memory at present. So that's a handy little thing. This one down here, it looks like some kind of like viewer toolbar, so it's been a while since I've used this machine, so I'm guessing, yeah, I've got a sign called Images. Cars. Well, that's good, isn't it? I wonder what it was kicking out the back that it couldn't view. Very interesting. That I wonder what that's trying to do. Maybe it's trying to kick out to a screen resolution this monitor doesn't support. But I'm pretty sure my previous monitor did 1028 by 1024. What else have we got? Is that some kind of archiving tool? Loading. Yes, unarch. So you can unarchive archives. Simple enough. Sound icon. What have we got here? Song player. Wow, there's some songs on here I haven't listened to in a while. Is it Genesis, anyone? Drag and drop. Again, apologies, I haven't used this machine in so long, I don't actually remember how a lot of this works. Not available. Oh, that's a good start. I do have the speakers plugged in, so I do want to see whether or not the audio works, but clearly things aren't happening at the moment. I think this is just multi-view. God, it's taken a while to list things, isn't it? Look at all these designs I've got. I mean, that's ludicrous. Obviously, some programs need them, some applications require them, some games even need them. But seriously, do I need all this? I could probably strip this right down and do a spring clean of it. Ooh. Right, unknown data type for brainworld.png. Data types, for those who don't know, are a way for the Amiga to know different file formats. So as long as you've got a data type, you can open that file. All you need is a data type that will decode the image and tell the Amiga whether it's an image or a sound or a text document, and you'll be able to open it in multi-view. But my PNG data type doesn't seem to be working. What a voyage of discovery we're on. Edit pad, okay, this is a text editor. What's the last one? This has to be some kind of movie tool, doesn't it? Amp. Let's have a look. Well, I click play. Let's try something other than MOV then. He says selecting another MOV. Are these all of a sudden going to start playing? No, for whatever reason they're not loading and they're not giving an error either. Okay, so what do we have over here? We have the disk is doing something. It's Cinema 4D! Yeah! 3D ray tracing, people. No, that's for... I thought I had an assign for this. Texture files, objects. Now, there won't just be objects in here that I created, but ones that my brother's made as well. Interesting stuff. I really want to load one for you that I know is going to be relatively impressive. Obviously, 3D ray tracing has moved on a hell of a lot since I did anything in Cinema 4D. The project. Oh yeah! Now if I remember correctly, this was... I was trying to create some kind of like Babylon 5-esque ship. Here we go. There she is. Again, I haven't used this in a while, so I don't really remember how to get it into some other... projections, here we go. Now we get to see it from X, Y and Z projections and a camera angle as well. I think I built this probably about, well, what was the date on the file? 1999! Oh my god. Yeah, okay, I've made myself feel old. Wow, that is... I haven't done any ray tracing since probably early 2000s. There's the environment. So this is a 3D model. It's made up of various materials. Let's try and see something that will actually render metal. Ooh, pretty. That one doesn't have a texture. Ship hull. Oh, well, stars. That's got to. No, it's too low res. Ship hull. I do have the CD for this. And plus, texts colon should actually be pointing at my assign for textures. Ship hull or ship hull coal.ff. Yeah, so maybe it doesn't exist. How about that? Anyway, Cinema 4D, everyone. There you go. Have a nice about window. Just having to clear some memory. Right. What else do we have? Oh, brilliant. Now, what I've done there is I moved my mouse to what I thought was the top right hand corner for that little gadget there, which is switches screens. Now, with Picasso 96, you don't actually get draggable screens anymore. So, unfortunately, I can't show you what's behind there. That is one way to get over this kind of thing, by dragging the screen down and seeing what's behind it. So, unfortunately, that is now stuck behind us. I think that's Final Writer, which is a word processor, a bit like Word, but nowhere near as annoying. Let's click on Artifact. Well, that's giving me a screen, that's good. 1st of May 2000. Keep forgetting this refreshes. Just open it as is, please. Artifact is a Photoshop style application. You see standard tools here. There's an image. Don't read too much into the image quality. This is clearly a screen grab from Babylon 5 itself, and then it's been saved as a very heavily compressed JPEG. But yeah, you can do your usual bits and pieces in there that you would with Photoshop. Maybe not as extensive, because obviously this is a lot older. But you know, there's stencils, there's filters, there's brushes. It's quite a nice little application. And then for something a bit more traditional, we have Personal Paint, or P-Paint, as it's known. And there's another one that's out of range. Right, top right corner. We're back here. It's created this on the desktop when I've opened it up. This is basically an area where you can drag an image and it'll open it over in Personal Paint. So that's pretty handy. Now, a thought has suddenly sprung to mind. There is a program called Mode Pro, which automatically promotes standard Amiga screens to retargetable graphics. So if they try and open just a normal Amiga screen mode, then Mode Pro jumps in there, intercepts the call, and chucks it out to a retargetable screen instead. So I'll have to look into that. Well, that's enough of productivity software. Let's see if we can actually run a game. Now I've got the disc for Simon the Sorcerer 2 here. So let's see whether or not we can run that. I'm going to click the toolbar and see if it actually requests it. If it asks for it. Oh, that's interesting, isn't it? will play it in a tiny little window. Again, this may be a result of the Mode Pro program, which has intercepted this screen. Let's see. It is a tiny little window. I do have the monitor speakers on. No, not getting any sound through there. To be honest, I'm unsure if there is any sound on this bit. And I don't have a keyboard to quit from this. I'm just going to have to switch the machine off. I will try something else. So we've had some great success with retargeted screens so far. You can tell that when I ran this last time, I didn't necessarily run everything. Either that, or obviously I've got a different monitor now, or I just gave up trying to get things to work and they slipped my mind. I'm going to try and run Wipeout, since I found the disk for that, and I do have memories of that actually running. It may ask for the disk. It may error, who knows. Right. It's not saying that there's a Warp 3D driver. That's interesting. Won't run terribly well if it doesn't go through Warp 3D. Let's do a double buffered screen then. And we'll limit everything else. We won't play the intro, we'll leave it like that. Once again, we're out of range. Now I'm going to have to wait for the machine's hard drive to stop flickering, because I'm going to need to reboot this, which I can't do because I don't have a keyboard plugged in. I'll just have to switch it off at the power switch. Also, because there isn't an Amiga off screen gadget, I can't find that and flick it either. So I'm going to switch it off again. Retargetable graphics. What that means is spitting out all display requirements through a graphics card. So retargeting the graphics display. I didn't think you'd want to sit through me basically going through Workbench preferences trying to work out what on earth's going on with screen modes. So I've had a bit of a dig around. I do have Mode Pro prefs in here, but when I try and run that, it says that Mode Pro is not running. So that tells me that it's probably something else. So I've looked at Picasso 96 mode. Basically, the 640 by 480 and 320 by 256 screen modes would not display to my monitor. Their frequencies were way too high and the monitor didn't want to sync. So now I have changed those, and now I'm going to have to reboot. Bear with me. And we've rebooted again. I've timed how long it takes for this machine to reboot, and it takes 2 minutes, which doesn't necessarily gel with the quick booting Amigas of old. From my previous videos, if you've seen them, the A1200 with the SD card boots in a matter of seconds. This takes a bit longer. So we've edited the screen modes, and I'm going to double click Wipeout again. Lovely icon. Nice big icon. Nice big glow on it. Let's double buffer it. we'll stick with that, please. But I'm going to have to look into this Warp 3D thing, although I might save that for another video. But let's stick with that. How can that be out of range? I just edited the screen modes. This system. Aha! The Crossfire 2 demo. Now, I've been having a bit of a poke around, and I discovered that Mode Pro was actually sat in the unused directory inside the WB Startup directory, so it won't load anything that's in there. So I've also played with the Picasso 96 settings, so 640 by 480 or 320 by 240, as I think this is, will actually display on the monitor, and it's got joystick support. So what options we've got? Seems simple enough, doesn't it? Crossfire 2 is a bit like an Asteroids game from memory. Let's give it a go. This is actually PowerPC as well, so I'm interested to see how it's actually going to play. Let's go with that. I'm sure all of this is required. Oh, blimes. They're forcing me backwards. Okay, it's slightly more difficult than I remember. I'm also not getting any audio, which is interesting. I thought this might have it. I expect it goes through Paula via AHI. If this is something that runs on retargetable graphics, it probably also works on retargetable audio, RTA, so that it would work with a sound card. Can't sell the guns. Go. Now I expect you probably need the keyboard to move between weapons. Oh, there we go. Ah, pull backwards and you get rockets. Get through there. These things are quite tough from the previous play. Oh, they're chasing me, I think. Oh, I doubt I'm going to last much longer. There we go. So it works. We've got audio, we've got a game running on the PowerPC. I'm happy with that. I think I'll end it here. I'm just holding my camera next to the machine here, and I'm not sure if the mic will be able to pick up just how noisy this is. I mean, there's a fan on the PSU, there's a fan on the PowerPC, there's a fan on the 68040 that I put on top of a heatsink on it years ago. I don't think there are more in there, but you never know. I'm going to switch it off and have a bit of silence, I think. Well, thanks for watching today's episode. I think we've discovered that an old Amiga is always difficult to get up and running again. I think we've discovered that an old expanded Amiga is possibly a little more tricky, just because of the various variations that you have to deal with in hardware and software. You know, I've got hardware in there that creates space for expansion cards, PCI graphics cards and sound cards and things like that. So that needs software for it. That generates its own hardware interrupts. That has to take a chunk out of memory that might not necessarily be the best way of doing things. I don't know. I'm no programmer. Then there's the Blizzard as well. A 68840 is, you know, pretty much compatible. It was the last 68K CPU that went into a Commodore Amiga. But then again, it's not as compatible with things as just a standard 68K would be, or a 68020, which even then may have issues with some games. But I think the most glaring issue is the ability to switch between Amiga screen modes and retargetable ones. It raises an interesting thought in my head of, wouldn't it be easier with emulation? It's a bit of heresy there. Because if you had it emulated on Mac or Linux or a Windows PC, if you so desired, as soon as it tried to open a retargetable screen, it would just open it alongside your Amiga screen, and it would display it on your monitor without any scanning issues. That's troubling. Anyway, I'm going to continue to tinker with this in the hope of getting some more PowerPC applications and games running with it. I'm going to try and sort out the screen mode issues. Hopefully I'm going to get some Warp 3D stuff running, because that seems to have just disappeared off the system. So hopefully I'll have an update for you next time round. Thanks for watching. Oh, and I need a keyboard. A PS2 keyboard, because they don't make AT keyboards anymore. And do you know how difficult it is to get a PS2 connected keyboard without having to go through a USB to PS2 dongle? It's like getting blood from a stone. Hopefully I can get some more input for this, because stupidly I chucked out my PS2 keyboard when I put this up in the loft. You see, never chuck anything away. Thanks.
Into the wonderful, into the wonderful, wonderful.